What's up, everyone? Marc Lobliner, CEO, MTS Nutrition. This came from the Tiger Fitness Facebook group. That's Facebook. Go to Tiger Fitness group. Anyway, answering all these questions, here's one that I really want to answer because I think there's a misconception about what athletes should do. From Brandon Wolfram, sports-specific training versus weight training. Pros and cons. What is better to be a well-rounded athlete? Or is it better to take things from concentration? Now realize impact is impact. What lifting weights, for example, a hex bar deadlift allows you to do is generate force against the ground. That's controlled impact, okay? Now, when you're playing football, you're going in for a tackle in soccer, or you're boxing someone out in basketball, that is an impact. What weight training does, it gives you controlled impact. When you're looking to generate force off the ground, what are you doing? You're applying resistance or pressure to the ground. How do you mimic that? Well, you do things like a hex bar deadlift. Do things like a squat. When you're running, you swing your arms forward. What's that activating? Your pec, bench press. Coming up, coming forward, overhead press. Deadlift, coming off the ground. Posterior chain strength, back strength, posture, force, impact, generating velocity is what it's about. Weight training versus sport-specific training isn't an or situation. They're the same thing. Sport-specific training is weight training because you're simulating a controlled impact, controlled explosion. You're strengthening and mimicking movements on the field, little segments of the movements. Whereas if you're running, you're going forward, activating your lats, your back, pulling your arm backwards, coming forward, straight up. Speed kills. Unless you're wrestling or a sport like if you're playing soccer, football, even baseball, Ricky Henderson stealing all those bases, catching fly balls, comes down to velocity. Speed kills. Why do you think the U in the 80s won all them championships? They recruited for speed. Speed, speed, speed. There is no pros and cons. Sport-specific training, yeah, of course. If you're playing soccer, you know how to dribble the gosh darn ball. You're playing football, you need to learn how to do an arm under. You know how to do a swim move. You need to know how to catch a ball, depending on your position. Bottom line is, to be a well-rounded athlete, weight training is now a part of every advanced training system there is. If you want to be a good golfer, you're going to weight train because it's going to give you more velocity on your swing. If you're going to be a good soccer player, you're going to weight train. You're going to do hex bar deadlifts. You're going to do different lateral movements in the weight room to make sure core movements, explosion coming up. It's all about the core, explosion, generating force. Weight training is sport-specific training. Of course, we will never replace the actual sport. We will never replace 1v1s in soccer practice. We will never replace those things. But weight training alongside proper pillar prep, movement prep, injury prevention, lateral, linear, mini hurdles, those are part of sport. But when you usually see an epic athlete, you'll see they put as much work in the weight room as they do on the field. Usain Bolt, I've seen videos of him lifting weights. How do you think he generates all that force, all the speed? World records are being broken. We can argue about performance-enhancing drugs, nutrition, whatever. One of the main reasons it's being broken is back in the 60s and the 70s, they thought that weight training slowed you down. Now they realize what weight training does. That's why programs across the country, that's why I've been brought into my kids' soccer club to help them. Because you generate speed through force. Velocity is what it's all about. So sport-specific and weight training, one and the same. That's not a game.